So I know the question is, what's next? I had a good year. Between the gravel race in early April in Pratt, Kansas, and winding up winning that age division and being 4th overall on a day that felt like pure torture. I mean, I crack up because I think the reason I won that day is I was too stubborn to get off my bike. I mean, the win that day, it was insane. And then, a little bit of a hiatus from May all the way through July, really, of putting back together my fitness after having gone to Europe to serve as a pilot on the tandem. I really gave up my top end race fitness. Swimming suffered, wasn't able to run all year leading into that because I needed to preserve my knee. And then really just training for endurance on the bike, not race fitness. So took about 3 months to kind of put together bike fitness just in time to go off to Garmin Gravel Worlds, and won that title with great surprise. I really didn't go there with hope that I was really going to achieve anything other than a really fun day. Back to that discussion about what's next. Putting the 2023 season to bed for me, having a DNF, which really sucked and took a lot of confidence away from me regarding being able to handle triathlon, and this traumatic brain injury that I've been recovering from. But then to finish the year on the podium in Bermuda at WTCS feels like a huge triumph. So I'm excited about that, and I'm anticipating a 2023 that's going to probably be just as tumultuous. Highs and lows. That's how life is, and turns out that's how racing can be. But I'm projecting forward. I'm going to go to the USAT National Festival in Irving, Texas in April. And then I'm kind of on the fence what I'm going to do in June, whether I stay home or travel. I really, really want to do Steamboat Gravel, which is the beginning of August, and then I'm registered for Garmin Gravel Worlds at the end of August. I'll probably do another WTCS race. I'm just waiting for that schedule to come out. And then just some professional goals from performance standpoint, the outcome-based stuff. I want to defend my world title at Garmin. I want to qualify for the grand final for WTCS, and I want to get back to All-American status. I didn't race enough races this year to even be ranked for USAT. Last year I finished pretty well on the list, and so I want to kind of get myself back to that point. Today, doing some cadence work. That's kind of the landscape, if you will, for the remaining weeks in November, is to work back on technique on the bike, meanwhile still holding a significant amount of power. So now I'm planning the next year, and kind of doing that actually for most of my athletes. We're just starting to put together race season what it's gonna look like, and I kind of want to share with you guys how you do that. So this is the normal calendar view here. And if you come up here to the taskbar, you'd see Manage Athletes. That's a coaching view. This tool called ATP, or Advanced Training Plan. Then there's my dashboard. That's most of my degradation charts. And then the calendar view. And then there's some other details here that we won't go into today. But we're going to use this tool right here, this Advanced Training Plan. So I've already input the races that I know I'm going to do. You click on that little wheel there, it'll pop up the races that are on my schedule. So right now I've got April 23rd, USAT Tri-Festival. I'm kind of guessing that that's where the Draft Legal Sprint is going to fall based on the schedule and the days it's scheduled. And I really, I mean, guys, that's my birthday. So it would be really cool to race that day and get myself a qualification to the grand final at WTCS. There aren't any other events in there, as you'll notice. Kind of bookending the year, race year, April to August with my A races. Just finished up that top one, that's Bermuda. I'm not sure what I'm going to fill the calendar with. But so here we go. We're going to click save and recalculate. And it's going to pop up that calendar. So this is where we're at. Just finished that race. I'm in a transition week, which is basically doing what I feel like. And then this week I'm kind of resuming back to training. And because I've established some base here after being sick, the program has defaulted me into base 3. And then in December I'll use it to build some fitness. And then in January I'll go back to some base. In February and March we'll finish that build period back into peak fitness for the A race. And then we do it all over again, all the way to August there. And what I think is really important to understand is, I mean, we watch the elites and the pros race often. And what I want you guys to grasp is that they really only set themselves up to peak maybe twice a year. Once for some, twice for some. And the rest of the races that they train for, they do not taper. I want to make that really clear. So they're not expecting their top level fitness out of their bodies as they go into C races, B races. Some days are even training days, like literally viewing it as a training day versus a race day. And it's really a huge ask of the body to try to peak more than about twice a year. So when I rewrote that advanced training plan, my chronic training load was at 49, and currently it's sitting at 43. So I've lost about 6 data points. I would have expected that because I tapered heavily going into Bermuda and then rested following. All last week was just a little bit of whatever I felt like. It wasn't a lot. I think I maybe did about 3 hours of activity. And then this week I've resumed training, but I'm being gentle because the interesting thing that I have now noted getting ready for these bigger events and tapering is that I feel really great from a traumatic brain injury standpoint during taper. Like I really am feeling the effects of that top level fitness and coming into form. And then a race, and it's really great because I go maybe 2 or 3 days almost asymptomatic, like not even aware that my concussion exists. And then what happens is I spiral down pretty fast. So I have to be gentle with myself coming back, and I can't have these expectations of the old Jennifer. Though I will say this,
I've made massive gains in this last year. I've really to thank everyone, my whole medical team, in helping me achieve that. But it's been I'm just way more optimistic this time around, because I have tools on how to make that climb back up the other side of the canyon.